Okay. So that's a hard act to follow, I have to say, but I'm going to get us back to the idea of relationships. So relationships are hard, but so is being single. A 2019 Harvard medical article in regard to men's health cited that men who have marital partners have improved health and they live longer. It also I do want to kind of add a caveat to that this was before COVID lockdown, so who knows if those statistics have changed. And I also want to make a note for those women who are rolling their eyes in the audience that various studies shows that this applies to women too. Yes, even after COVID, there are financial benefits, better eating habits, improved health, and increased longevity with being married. But here is the big difference. Difficult marriages tend to lower our health, lessen our lifespan, and reduce our joy. Single life can be lonely, certainly, but it offers, as Tamara was sharing, freedom in travel and hobbies and career, even what you eat. Personal development is more of a choice. And another interesting survey by the Pew Research Center in 2019 stated that 31% of the adult population they surveyed were single. And of those, half were actively not looking to change their situation. So some people love the single life. So I saw this great post and I saved it because I wanted to share it with you. And I think Tamara will relate to this as well. So this is where I'm at in my life right now. So whether it is in your personal life or in your business, a key to quality relationships is communication. I've lived both sides of that married single debate. I lived the first several years of my marriage quite happy. We started out with common goals and values. When we had children, we agreed that I would leave my career to be with our kids at home. But when that happened, everything seemed to change. I was given less say. Expenditures favored his wants over mine. I compromised a lot. I kind of stopped communicating. Other difficulties entered the mix in our marriage, and my kind of attitude became more that it was a contractual arrangement. I had less value in myself. I found solace in my faith and in my children, but we really stopped having meaningful communications. And the single life has been hard too, financially, trying to do it all, finding time for myself. In the mixed, one of the harder things I found around divorce is that when you have children, you continue to have to see that other person. So with my youngest having special needs, this continues on even after 13 years. The other two older children have made their own choices, but she's still in this relationship with her father. So I have improved so much on that communication piece along the way, and things are smoother. And here is why. First of all, I understand what I need, and I understand that it's okay to ask for what I need. I understand how I show up in the world and what matters to me, and that has value. And I also understand a little bit more about him as well. So it all has to do with understanding both my values and his values. I utilize a science-based system to create content for my clients in my work that focuses on relationship values to further your sales and your business success as the center of my work. I value it so much that I teach it as well for those who want to apply it themselves in their coaching work to improve their sales, or maybe just in relationships. So relationships are important everywhere, whether it's business, with your children, navigating the dating world, a spouse, or an ex. So let's talk about those relationships. Sometimes you just get a really good vibe from a person, right? We receive information based on the set of values that we live from. And we might see a value in someone that we don't have, but we're attracted to. They say opposites attract, and that can certainly be true. But over time, without good communication, those opposites, like magnets, will actually begin to repel one another. So one of the best things you can do is look at communication as a key and listen to hear. Sorry, I should have popped that other slide up there earlier. So think of those terrible customer service calls that you've had where the person on the other end of the line just gives you a canned answer and they have no idea what you're actually trying to say. This is what happens when you have a relationship where you're listening to answer rather than listening to hear. So listening to hear changes everything. People feel honored and valued for who they are, and they will hear you back when you can direct your conversation to the value set from which they live. Emotional intelligence is actually when you can move freely in and out of different value sets in your conversations while still remaining authentic to yourself. So picture this. A successful businesswoman, she's a mover and a shaker. She was attracted to a man that is an IT specialist. He's very quiet, thoughtful, rational. He's a planner. She appreciated that he could keep her feet on the ground, and he loved that she pulled him out of his shell with her social circle and her big dreams. They shared a love of flying. That's how they met. He approached flying with this skillful precision, and he actually was so good at it, he started training others. She was in it for the thrill, the drops and the flips and all of those things. They got married, but discussions started to become difficult. She wanted quick resolution when they were talking about things, and he needed to think things over. So they began to argue, hurt one another's feelings with statements like, oh, you can never make a decision, or he would label her as having flighty behavior, trying new things all the time and never seeing things through. So there are personality assessments out there that show you how you show up in the world. I'm a certified coach and trainer with Codebreaker Technologies using a system called Bank, BANK, that shows us how to find out how other people show up in the world. I was going to try and, I'm going to just pop this in the chat so you guys can get that, and that may help a little bit more for you to understand about bank terminology. So it divides our personality codes into blueprint, action, nurture, and knowledge. And we aren't just one code. We have a mix of all four, with one code being our strongest. So my first code is N for nature, but my full code is NKBA. So the woman I described in this scenario would find her main code to be A for action. She values excitement, opportunity, VIP treatment, high quality. Her spouse is a K, or a knowledge personality, valuing things like research and logic, maybe cutting edge tech, but also quality. So they have this common ground in their hobbies and even some of their personality values. So what if they could find a way to make those choices in life that honor them both so they don't have these difficult arguments? Discussions tend not to become arguments if you learn to deal with each other's values. So action presents her case and she walks away. She lets Kay think about it and come back when he is ready. She plans ahead to give him time for his processing, and he tries harder to work through his analysis because he knows that she needs closure. So what used to be hurtful arguments become compartmentalized dialogue. They might discuss the same issue over several days, but they still go on with their life in between that. It's a win-win. And the key to continuing relationships like this is first to understand the values of the other person. It can be done. I know a couple who argues like this. So a few tips I'd love to share with you on relationships and communication are two things. One would be around asking questions. So this is the same advice I give people for sales presentations. Ask lots of questions. It's not necessarily just the answer, although an answer is very telling, but the way in which someone answers that's so important. So think of this. I drive a Volvo because of German engineering. I drive a Volvo for safety for my kids, or I drive a Volvo because of the luxury. Those three statements say very different things about the same car, and that shows you the value perspective that the person is speaking from. We also want to look at nonverbal clues. So the highest percentage of our communication does not come from the words we speak. It's body language, tone, career choice. It might be what you're wearing, your jewelry, your background that you have on Zoom. Anything that you can look at like that to help you understand someone better is another key component to communication. So working with Bank actually offers 7 or 8 different ways that we can assess people's values, like training with observation, the help of AI and other tools like these cards where we can, so I'll put them here so you can see them. These cards help you communicate with people better. So in closing, I just want to say, if you think you could benefit from having a set of these value cards to apply to your conversations, you can get a set for just $25 and it includes instructions on how to use them. Just type bank in the chat with your email or book a 15-minute power call with me where I can increase your sales pitch or your dating profile for a reach of up to an increase 300%. Thank you so much.